sport. And if you can label fishing as a sport, I know damn well you can label jacking off a sport. Think about it. What the
What's going on, people? Cecil Peoples, Black Eyed Peas here, aka Black Eyed Skitch. I actually get to explain this in a little bit because it actually has to sort of do with what the video today is. Hopping on a bit of a bandwagon here today, doing the whole tier list. I know a bunch of people have done it already. iDubbbz has done it, Crantime has done it. Thought I'd put my own little spin on it though, and I'd do a tier list of my friends. I might be the lowest on everyone's tier list by the time this video is done. So all the faces at the bottom, all the homies, I actually didn't put in any particular order, but I think I'll just start with the first one, which is Cabin.
What's up, you fat motherfucker?
So Cabin is a guy who I met on TF2, Team Fortress 2, he's a TF2 homie. Cabin's just like the solid definition of a bro. Sends me good morning messages on Snapchat, or I guess that's what they're supposed to be. If I could dance half as good as Cabin, I would be way happier with my life. I also didn't know about this until I became closer friends with him, that he also has a humongous YouTube channel. He makes his money literally eating food, which is just absolutely insane to me. Me and him were really fucked over bad by the same guy. So me and him have equal hatred and equal beef with X person who was a really huge asshole to us.
Just a fucking thought, bro. So f that, bro.
So it feels good that like me and him are in the same boat. Like we have each other's back on hating this same guy. I don't even know if that's something that makes sense, but whatever. Check out his ASMR channel and watch him eat some food. Cabin, I feel, is a solid B.
Dude, he just took a hard swim.
That was a hell of a swim.
It was like I drank it.
I fucking sip. I don't know why.
Who would be an A tier? Hendrix is definitely an A tier, I feel. Hendrix is incredibly easygoing. Plenty of good times with the guy, honestly. Way long ago before I was on this YouTube channel, and I don't even know if I have any footage of it because it's probably gone in the wastelands of a million hard drives. I used to record tons of Let's Plays with him way back in the day. Probably the most diverse friend too, as far as like what they're down to do. He's pretty much down to do anything. Hey! There's always been a cool guy to hang with and, just a really go with the flow kind of guy. One thing I can absolutely say Hendrix sucks at is he is absolutely horrendous and brutal when it comes to ghosting. I actually asked Langtree, I was like, did I piss him off? Is he saying anything to you? He's like, oh no, he just does this to me all the time too. He's done it ever since, the start of high school. And I was like, oh, okay, so it's a Hendrix thing and not a me thing. What? Besides all that though, Hendrix is a pretty swell guy in my book.
Oh. Did you just spit on his foot?
I feel like C tier is where I'm unintentionally getting kind of mean because if I was told that I was a C tier friend to anyone, I'd be like, man, you view me like a solid C, not a C plus, not a C minus. I think Farrell is my solid C tier friend. More than anything, I think Farrell is really good to meme with. He's only good to meme with when it's when it's my meme, when it's the memes I think are funny. Farrell does find the memes that I find funny for himself, but to be completely honest, any meme he has sent me that he thought is funny, I've just never, it's never even made me crack a smile. I'm just not funny in the slightest. Kept sending me some clip of some fat dude in a green leotard, and I did not find it funny at all.
I'll murder you in front of your whole family, kid.
Hey, you just gonna eat my mama? Oh no! Life, pussy.
He's really artistic. He makes super cool art. I was just about to say a thing, but that would be spoilers for a future video. To say I'm closer to Farrell than other people on this list would be disingenuous. See you later, fucko. So this first inductee into the D tier list is another TF2 homie. He's a cool dude to play multiple games with. Not just only TF2, but Mowgli. I'm sorry, Salbert. You're going in the D tier, my man. I mainly haven't talked to Sal in a while. He's busy with the whole school thing.
And pizza too.
So Sal actually works at Sal's Pizza. It was actually reviewed by that guy who, like, his YouTube channel is like only pizza review videos. Davey Longsnout or whatever his name is. When Sal told me when he came in, I was like, whoa, you know, like holy shit. Sal gets a D only out of being a lackluster friend for a recent while, like the past like 4 or 5 months. He's killing it with work and he's killing it with school, but as far as like, you know, hanging with the bros, hanging with the homies, you know, it's been pretty shit lately. So if you're in New York and you happen to see doughy little dough flipping doughboy who claims he's Asian but is not Asian, walk in and give the man some revenue, then tell him Skitch sent you.
I go 7.1. I think it's a solid pizza. It's nothing to write home about, but it's very good. If you're walking and hits a spot, I'll finish this whole thing.
What are we gonna do next?
Claudio, aka Peru Claudio,
is gonna go in D tier also. Makes me laugh my ass off though. Talking to Peru Claudio is like talking to Google Translate. As funny, unintentionally / intentionally that he is, I have to rank him in D just out of him being the most inexperienced friend on this list. Just because I don't like how it's looking bare, let's do our first S tier. Langtree Crayon Time is undoubtedly an S tier friend. Just a mind-numbing amount of hours spent with him playing games with each other. I also think, because he has pointed this out to me before, and I think he's still right, literally in every single one of my videos. Like, literally every single one of my videos. I could sit here and list a million reasons why I love Langtree, but, you know, we'd be here all day. Just like every good quality you want in a friend, he has in abundance. Did try to break my thumb in a subway though, but we don't need to talk about that here. You know, I'm not here to. I think another thing that I really appreciate about Langtree, his ability to like embrace himself as like a living meme. If I say a joke that he thinks is really stupid, he'll flat out tell me. Just always having fun, always smiling, always being happy, you know. Do not, for the love of God, follow his fucking Twitter account. If you were born in the future and you could have like Twitter like implemented and like implanted into your brain, and just every time you think anything, it just sends it out like. His Twitter is an absolute atrocity.
Look here!
So I think I'm actually going to pair Dakota and Zach together. So they're my MMA buddies. Generally all the time, we'll just talk about MMA, you know, but that's about it. Which doesn't make a bad friendship, but it's a very straightforward, one-dimensional friendship. I'm gonna move Peru Claudio back a little bit. Dakota, are you in love with me too? So the only reason I'm putting Dakota ahead of Zach is because Dakota sort of really introduced me to and has shown me a lot of really good Korean music. Being Zeno, my boy Black Nut, and maybe Crush. Go check out Crush's Wanderlust EP. It's really good. If Zach eventually comes down and trains with me like he has said he's going to, I might move him up, but as of right now, he's going to be behind Dakota. Where do I put Zen? Wow, we're getting some fantastic FPS on this. That's what happens when you record with QuickTime on a Mac. Honestly, I'd like to put him higher, but I think I'm going to put Zen in D tier. Actually, no, I don't. Zen is in D tier, but I'm sort of viewing this as him barely not being in C tier. Zen actually came down all the way from Europe to hang out with me and Langtree at Com Bravo a few years back. He came down from fucking Europe to fucking Canada just to hang out with me. And like I would travel across the world for literally nobody. It could be a date at the top of the Eiffel Tower with fucking Zendaya. I'm not flying across the fucking world for nobody. But when he was here and we were hanging out, I was having, you know, total blast with the guy, you know. Every second I had with Zen was nothing but good times.
Hey Zen, what's up?
Ow. Ow.
Pelted me in the face with an exercise ball, which honestly thought it like knocked me out. Like, thought like I was in an episode of The Twilight Zone.
There is a fifth dimension.
We need to hang out IRL more than once every 2 years, you know what I'm saying? Thomas Hood. So Thomas is a little electronic little drummer boy. +1 for making deep sleep. A -1 for denying his weeby heritage. A +5 for being Callum Hood's brother. A -5 for making me get Starbound because that game sucks. -1 for making pretend his Shadow Rusher career never existed. -50 points for naming a song Skitchin' and not Skitchly. Thomas gets B tier. I actually had a person do a Nico dance in front of us while he was wearing a Nico shirt one day, and I was with him, and it's probably the most stunned I've been with any of these people here in an IRL event ever. I was standing there and I was literally like... So I met Nico at a Smash tournament many years ago. He's best known for his very cringy post-match interview, his post-tournament winning championship match interview, where he famously says, I mopped the floor with them with my Meta Knight. Incredibly weeby. Pisses me the fuck off that his Twitter timeline is only used to retweet hentai. I think if he went out of his way to prioritize his relationships with human beings over anime bitches, he'd probably be a better friend to everyone, not just me. Nico, along with Farrell, is a solid C tier friend.
Oh, get it. Oh. Okay.
So Rolston was one of the people who came almost like a package deal when I became friends with Hendrix. He was sort of involved in that friend group of people. So I actually got to know Rolston over time. He's actually very similar personality-wise to Hendrix. If me, Hendrix, and Rolston are all hanging out in the same room, me and Hendrix will be playing a game, and Rolston will be sitting on a couch or sitting in the corner, doodling or drawing in his sketch pad or working on some, you know, song mixes or instrumentals on his laptop in the corner. That's weird, right? Wouldn't you just want to, like, you're there with your friends, when you want to do the I don't know. Hendrix just has that little bit more in common with me than Rolston does. I'm starting to not know where to put certain people now. It's getting really hard. Christian is gonna go in the C tier.
That's great, man. That's fucking great.
Christian has actually always been a really cool guy to hang with, but he is incredibly painfully shy. Because I think Christian would agree with me to a certain extent that like his shyness just is like his general like social anxiety holds him back, unfortunately, from having like better friendships than what he has already. Like they could be even better. Everyone's got flaws, man. You just gotta fucking deal with it.
You're a fat.
Everyone's got flaws, man. My throat is starting to get very fucking sore, actually. I'm gonna try to the best of my ability to not sound like a giant ass while I have this in my mouth and I'm talking. Mr. Woney. John, whew, nice voice crack, dude. Good thing I just put this. I think John is a weird one to rank. For the most part, he's, you know, pretty good to be around. But he's very randomly weird. When I was at that Smash tourney, I was being a doubles partner for John. The way I've played Smash Wii U has always been trying to be okay with every character. But I looked at him, I'm like, John, who do you want me to pick? My thought was, I'm decent with everyone, So I'll ask him who he wants me to be, because it'll be more comfortable for him, you know. And I don't know if it was because he was so amped up that he was in the tournament and we were doing good. He turns at me. I'm not gonna do the same volume because it's late at night and there's people sleeping and I don't want to wake the neighborhood. Nor do I even think I could do the same volume. But he looks at me and he goes, "I don't care. Just pick a fucking character." I actually had to catch myself for a second. I remember I was holding my controller and I honestly went I turned at him and I went, I was gonna punch him. You going to jail? I just remember for like the rest of that set, he was just being a huge fucking asshole, just yelling and screaming and just being a total fucking bitch. This fucking picture I just saw of him recently, where he's wearing 3 layers of clothing, but the second layer is undone. Very open to talking about video ideas with me. He's always been very open for feedback and helping me with videos, video editing, and I've always been super appreciative of that. I think John is gonna be B+ as of right now.
Hey, Ninja King here. So today I thought it'd be fun to check out the new...
After recent events, Lunch Patterson, you flying bag of shit, I would have considered Lunch to be a B tier friend. Like at the worst, a low B. We got a guy D, C, B, all from TF2. I think I might want to sort of explain this real quick, if I may. TF2 kind of gets on a lot for it somehow is like uncool to play ever since Overwatch has come out. There's tons of cool people that play TF2, because the thing that initially even drew me to even talking to Lunch Patterson, found out that he had his account for over 10 years and never changed it. The fact that I have people that I can put in a friends tier list that I've met from a specific game is pretty, like, actually crazy to me. So I'm not trying to sound like an advertisement by any stretch of the imagination, but it's free to play. There's still, like, thousands and thousands of people playing it despite it being a over 10-year-old game. If you give TF2 a shot, you will meet and become, you know, really good friends with some really cool people. Generally, you want to look for people with a Steam name that is usually sort of some bullshit that doesn't really mean anything. But the dumber the name and the dumber your character looks, there's a good person hiding under there. I guarantee you. Now, let me go back to Lunch Patterson here. The thing that really, I think, kept our friendship going and like moved it up, besides just only playing TF2 together, was we're both giant massive fans of MMA, and you know, Lunch trains stand up, you know, that's what he does. I train jits, that's what I do, which is how we got wrestling all right here. I always thought, like, man, 1v1 me and grappling, we'll do it. I'll beat you right up, man. I'm confident I can key lock you, Lunch. So I took him down, I got him in a key lock. He fucking tapped. You would think just by looking at me that I fucking lost. I lost the battle, but I won the war. Beyond all that, though, like, Lunch is okay to play TF2 with, I guess. If I am going into a TF2 session with Lunch, at some point I am going to hear bitching about Demo Man and Sniper.
Depends on if I get sniped or if they win because of Demo. Which one is it gonna be? Which one do you think is gonna happen first? You know what I say? Sniper's broke. Demo Man and Sniper, possibly Spy. They're unbalanced in the way the rest of Team...
God, you're a pussy.
Stating facts, bro.
As long as I have this black eye, Lunch Patterson is a C tier friend. We're getting down to the nitty gritty here, boy. Jake, man. Jake. Known this dude for over 20 years. We would do everything together. We'd have sleepovers and birthday parties, and some of the best times in my entire life are with Jake. But some of the worst times in my life were with Jake also. After college, I don't know how Jake would view it, so I don't want to put words in his mouth. I had a really bad falling out with Jake. I hadn't talked to him for years up until near the end of last year. I would rather hang out with him again and have it end bad and know that we both tried to have, you know, realizing how much I care about him, you know, like truthfully. Hung out with him, had a great time with him. Jake is A tier. If we can get to where we were a long time ago, I have no problem putting Jake in S tier at all. When I first began working out and weightlifting in like 2015, I think, Preston was one of the very first people who I met. I don't want to say he was a guide or a tutor or a mentor, but whenever I would ask for help or advice or, you know, what should I be doing, this, that, how to do this, he was literally just helping me like a friend. He'd be like, oh, you should do this, you should do that. It was very friendly. Like off the bat, it actually kind of took me by surprise, like how, you know, how friendly he was off the bat. I think it was because he saw a massively out of shape person trying to make a positive change in their life. Any numbers that went up in the gym and down on the scale, I would heavily attribute to Preston helping me and trying to keep me focused on the goals I wanted to achieve. Day after day, week after week, year after year, see each other every day, hang out, just fucking grinding in the gym, cracking jokes. For a long time, it was that, and then it abruptly stopped after I stopped doing weightlifting. This is more on my end that he's here. I'm gonna put Preston in the middle of C tier. Preston, what are you about to do here?
I'm about to Kobe this shit.
I want you to Kobe that one.
Okay, ready?
Do it! Was the kind of the same thing that happened with my man Caleb here. I met Caleb when we were playing Call of Duty on the 360 way back in the day when we were both just fucking kids on, I think, Modern Warfare 3 it was. I played a shit ton of Modern Warfare 3 with him. Stardew, Smash, played a ton of Smash Wii U with him. Played a ton of games with him as a whole. We'll game together every day for a few hours for like a week straight. But it happens like every 2 months. But let's go on Stardew again, man. The animals are missing you. They miss you tons. To Team Fortress 2, last homie with a tier list placement. This is the first legitimate good friend I made playing that game. Our humor, like what we find funny, I would almost go as far as it's the same and the same certain thing make each other laugh all the time. Not even with like really good humor.
What is that?
You don't know what that is?
Cheese stick? String cheese? Yeah.
I've never heard anyone call a cheese string cheese before. Like literally never.
You call it a cheese string?
Cheese string.
Oh, yeah. We don't have that. I'm thinking like a little stick of cheese and you peel off like little strings of it.
That's what it is. It's a cheese string.
Oh my god, dude.
It's by Black Diamond. It's like the only cheese string I know of.
Wait, it's by what?
It's by Black Diamond.
We don't have Black Diamond here, dude.
Look, okay, you're way fucked beyond like comprehension now.
Dude, that's a Canadian brand. We don't have that here.
Is Black Diamond Canadian?
We don't do... I've never seen that in my life.
I don't know what it is with, you know, Michigan producing these long ass fucking giraffe looking neck people. Maybe it has something to do with that poisonous lead filled water in Flint. I fully appreciate how much laughter can really add to a friendship. I'm gonna give Nate an A tier.
Sorry.
Meme machine, making songs about Wings of Redemption. Talked about by Wings of Redemption.
Slowpoke by Koopa Attack. I don't listen to bands I've never heard of.
I don't even know if Cole knows this, but Cole actually like inspires me as far as like creation is concerned. I'm gonna work on this video, I'm gonna make this song, I'm gonna add this to it. From seeing how passionate he is with his optimism and what he wants to do to create. As someone who makes videos, I look at that and I'm like, dude, I hope you do all that shit. Even if it takes forever, I hope you do all that. You do it to the best of your ability. Like, I want you to make that dope song. I want you to make this video. I want you to make this album. And when I see that from Cole, that fires me up to really make cool shit for myself. Cole is going in B tier for show. When I had brought this idea up to John, he was down for it, but he was very like, I'm not a good friend. I saw that and I was like, what the what? John doesn't know how good of a friend he is. Or maybe he does and he just doesn't view it as good as I do. I realized I didn't even really give an example for John at all or give reasons as why I like him. I hate to sound like a broken record, but John is pretty much like Hendrix and Rolston except on a much smaller basis. I don't hang out or talk to John as often as I'd like to or should, to be completely honest. If Rolston and Hendrix are
Pepsis,
then John is
Diet Pepsi.
I got love for you, John. Straight up I do. As often as we get in arguments about literally anything.
This is what I want on my sub. This is what I want on my sub. If me and you walk in the subway and we both get a sub that we want and we both enjoy the sub, then what is wrong if we pay the same amount of money if we both get a sub that we like?
I will take the day off jiu-jitsu tomorrow and bike to Brantford to beat your ass. Don't make me do this.
The dozens of times I've been banned from his Discord server.
He's gone.
Man, that's not fair. You're supposed to be in the other chat. You're supposed to be in the other... I'll be... if he hasn't truly impacted my life. I met him in college, and what my known heaviest was in college was 318 pounds. Deep down inside, Claudio would definitely take a bullet for me.
Yeah, because I'm going to be the one to kill you.
He was the one who kickstarted me to go work out. Claudio was the match that lit the fuse.
I'm going to strangle you unconscious with your belt. Like your head is a yo-yo. Your face is gonna be so blue. You're gonna look like the girl from like the Willy Wonka that came out in like 2005 after she ate the blueberry candy. You're gonna look like...
Close to the end of high school, I was 290 pounds. When Claudio met me in college, I was 318. And just a couple of months ago, I was 265. I even had a shirt that I remember wearing in high school when I was that big. Have you ever seen like a cartoon character who's wearing like a shirt so like small or tight that like his belly is like barely like poking out through the bottom or like peeking through the bottom or something like that? That's what I look like wearing the shirt. I wear it now and it's loose. It's super loose on me.
Like I want like literally to have some of your teeth embedded in my hands from how many times I drill my fist into your face.
Jiu-jitsu, I'm attaining a martial arts skill. Eat healthy and stick to a healthy diet. Like literally has changed my life for the better. Like truly, I've never could even comprehend doing in my life.
Basically, how I'm going to hold Skitch down and squeeze the life out of his body, and that he's 5'0" and weighs 3,000 pounds. His body mass index is 400% body fat, and like literally 20 starving children could feed on his body if I were to kill him.
Only because he has literally changed my life for the better. Even if I do tell him how much I appreciated him helping me do all this shit, he still wouldn't even get a fraction of how, like he couldn't grasp a fraction of how much I truly appreciate all the shit he's done for me. On the top, we got good Steven, and on the bottom, we got evil Steven, just like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Good Steven is a bro, always laughing, always having a good time. But people rarely get to see that side of the good guy. Evil Steven will make you want to rip your hair out. Message me spoilers for Endgame in the DMs?
Why am I toxic?
If he's not messaging me some incoherent bumbling bumbles that mean nothing, then he's just doing it in a voice chat, the same thing.
Huh? Careful. Huh? Careful. 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 Carpool. Carpal tunnel. Carpal tunnel slugog?
Truly is a thing where, like, if it's being done to someone else and I'm just a spectator watching it, then it's funny.
Shut the fuck up.
Hey, suck my balls, mother.
Bet, bro. Give me a place and location. I'll suck those nuts.
Yo, what are you saying? Yo, you play Duelist? Come play Duelist.
When he's doing it to me, I want to lose it.
And again, I rip your balls off. So much. You're never gonna know what the fuck happened to your fucking nuts, alright? You Shut up! What the fuck you say to me, you fucking little weasel?
I'm muting you. I'm sorry, I'm muting you.
No, I'm sorry. I'm actually sorry. Please.
I'm sorry.
Good Steven is a B tier friend. When Steven does all that shit I just listed, he is the worst person. You can maybe not even consider him a friend when he's doing that shit. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. This is my friend tier list. I feel good about this. Some spots can be shifted quickly. Lunch could easily be jumping up to B. Preston could easily shoot up to A. Christian could go up 2. This is just how I feel as of right now. Like, this could literally be different tomorrow. Yeah. See you later, guys.